In the world of science fiction, there are two entities that rule the roost, but today there can only be one.
Even Yoda cannot see their fate.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're pitting the two biggest franchises in science fiction, Star Wars and Star Trek, against one another to see which one comes out on top.
We can stand here all day reminding ourselves just how much we hate each other, but you don't have the time.
Although both sci-fi series have had a few dips in quality throughout the years, the missteps along the way have paled in comparison to the heights they have both reached. For this showdown, we're evaluating them on specific categories to see how well they measure up.
Is the dark side stronger?
Round 1. Spaceships.
It's a hell of a ship you got there.
When flying through space, these are the crafts that allow you to do it in style. With so many alien races, Star Trek allows for many interestingly designed and downright cool spaceships to be created. Whether it's Romulan warships, a litany of others, or one of the most unique spacecraft ever, the Borg Cube, the men and women behind this epic space opera did not skimp when coming up with cool space vehicles.
Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Of course, we would be remiss if we did not discuss the sleek and legendary Starship Enterprise. One of the first images that comes to the mind of any Trekkie or casual observer, there is no ship more intertwined with the idea of Star Trek than this, considering it's the main setting for many of the franchise's series and movies. Despite names like X-Wing and Y-Wing sounding nowhere near as cool as a Romulan warship, we can assure you that these starfighters from the Star Wars universe have some incredible charms of their own. Whether it's Jango Fett's Slave One and its amazing battle capabilities and incredible sounding bombs, or the awe-inspiring Star Destroyer that first introduced us to this universe and blew our minds in the process, Star Wars came to play.
Look at the size of that thing.
We still haven't even brought up Star Wars' two legendary spacecraft, the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon, one of which poses an imposing figure over the entire universe, while the other is the epitome of cool in space. When a ship wins the hearts of Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, who are arguably the coolest characters in this or any other galaxy, who are we to argue?
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon stands head and shoulders over any other spaceship, while the Death Star and destroyers ensure Star Wars flies away with the win. Winner, Star Wars.
Okay, you guys got yourselves a ship.
Round 2. Scope of Universe.
Live long and prosper.
One of Star Trek's greatest strengths is its core concept of going where no one has gone before, which has allowed it to systematically discover and flesh out new alien races again and again. Though some of the planets they travel to only allow for throwaway adventures, there are still several that have managed to occupy their own corner of the series universe.
I am the beginning, the end, the one who is many.
From the violent Borg, Klingons, and Romulans, or the more peaceful Vulcans and others, Star Trek came to fight in this category. Unlike its competitor, the world of Star Wars is chiefly defined by their film entries. And as such, the budget and effects that have served as the backbone of this franchise's most famed planets are as large in scope as any could be. Wookiees, Hutts, and Ewoks are but a small sampling of the many noteworthy alien races that were created to populate a galaxy far, far away. As much as we love the Star Wars universe, however, we have to admit that this one was not that close.
They seem to eat a great deal. I see no practical use for them.
The various races, cultures, and planets of the Star Trek universe are far more fleshed out, and the entire culture of the series focuses on their inclusion. Not to mention the fact that there are no Gungans in Star Trek. Winner, Star Trek.
Now, why don't you go back to your quarters?
Round 3. Sci-fi themes.
Specifically those surrounding Earth.
When Gene Roddenberry created the original Star Trek series, it was built on a federation of planets working together to build a society of mutual respect and peace. which is as admirable an idea as we can think of.
Then why do you want to kill me?
You are an invader.
If we could attempt to build our society around the United Federation of Planets' principles of universal liberty, rights, and equality,
Earth may be his next stop, but we have to assume every Federation planet's a target.
as well as the idea of sharing our knowledge and resources in peaceful cooperation and space exploration, our world would be a lot better off. A story originally built around spiritual themes based on the connections that we all share with each other and the world around us.
The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us.
The villains of Star Wars sought to destroy any warmth they found in the universe and spread hate and anger.
I can feel your anger. I am defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Though it may have been a bit of a ham-fisted allegory for progress destroying nature, the tale of woodland creatures overcoming Empire forces in Return of the Jedi was emblematic of the story's themes. Despite both franchises focusing on admirable and not all that different themes at their hearts, it's Star Trek that wins the day here. The fact that with the release of the prequels, the original Star Wars trilogy's concepts in some instances were decimated with unnecessary and obtrusive explanations, as was perfectly personified in the concept of midi-chlorians.
What are midi-chlorians?
Midi-chlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
Winner, Star Trek.
In war, there is nothing more honorable than victory.
Round 4, Special Effects. When looking at the scope of special effects that have made the stories told within the Star Trek universe come to life, it is a tale of the rich and the poor. For people who are new converts to the series and are only familiar with the impressive techniques and visuals in the Star Trek reboot movies, going back and viewing the shoddy moments from the original TV series may be truly shocking. When the original Star Wars film hit movie theaters, people worldwide couldn't have possibly been prepared for the spectacle they were about to behold. Crafting a world of space travel and battles that felt truly real for their time, Star Wars broke new ground, and as a result, box office records. Arguably taking a step back with the cartoony effects seen in the prequels, released at the turn of the century and early 2000s, the 2015 film shows the ultimate combination of practical and digital effects. Though the effects that were used in the prequels may not be the most popular ones in the world, Star Wars was still able to craft a fully formed world. Despite not being the worst effects of their time, many of the moments that took place under the Star Trek banner have not aged well in the slightest, so this round is going to George Lucas and his gang. Winner, Star Wars.
Just setting a new course.
Round 5, Heroes and Villains.
You seem more like a boy.
Captain Kirk, Captain Picard, Captain Sisko, Captain Janeway, Captain Archer, Spock, Bones, Worf, and so many other men, women, and alien creatures that have worn the uniform of the Starfleet have been given hours and hours of airtime to become three-dimensional characters in Star Trek.
I think you're the bravest man I've ever known.
Thank you, sir.
Arguably as layered and interesting as nearly any creations that have passed before a camera, the hero side of Star Trek is truly impressive.
Greetings.
The villain side of the equation, however, has some great characters for devotees, but for the casual viewer, it all comes down to one man, Khan Noonien Singh, or as we'll always know him, Star Wars has so many great heroes and villains that we don't have enough time to list them all now. Whether you're talking about Jabba the Hutt, Leia, Luke, Boba Fett, Darth Maul, Lando, Han Solo, or so many others. When their names get dropped, the vast majority of society will instantly get a visual of their visages in mind.
He told me you killed him.
No. I am the father.
The character that stands head and shoulders above the rest in our minds, though, is Darth Vader, who casts such a large shadow over pop culture that it's nearly impossible not to recognize him, is also often named one of the best film villains of all time.
You were right. You were right about me.
Despite their meager screen time in comparison to the competition as found in Star Trek, the populace of the Star Wars universe pulls out a victory due to their larger impact on film history alone. Winner, Star Wars.
I never doubted the outcome.
By a score of 3-2, Star Wars pulls out a victory with the swing of a lightsaber in this truly hard-fought and close battle of science fiction heavyweights.
It is useless to resist.
What did you think of our verdict?
Are you out of your Vulcan mind?
Be sure to debate in the comments and subscribe to WatchMojo.com for more entertaining versus battles.